Hello, everyone. So I'm here to talk about the trade for A1 Mark Fields. So he's a corner with some pretty decent measurables. He's 5'10", 192 pounds, and ran a 4.37 at the combine while benching 18 reps at 245. So I'm going to go over just some, kind of pros and cons of what I found with him anyway. And we're going to go over the good stuff first, He's in. He's not afraid to come up and tackle. He does it pretty well, and he kind of knows to go for the legs because he is kind of a smaller guy just in general. So when he's coming up to hit like a running back, he knows legs, chop him out. And in run support, he's kind of gritty like that. He just kind of knows when to do that and, or not leave too early. So he does have some natural cover talent, and it's easy to kind of tell when they aren't natural because it's he has some technical flaws, and he's still able to kind of do it still. So it's kind of nice to see that, and he has really good foot quickness, and he can reach his top end speed and actually maintain said top end speed down the field. Not all players can do that. Sometimes it's a little hard for them to be running full speed, but also try to focus on who they're covering, what they're doing, how to actually move with them, and then also be asked to track the ball. But he, as far as his at least speed goes, he can do that. So the not so great stuff is he's kind of willing to bite on the double moves, occasionally lose track of the ball, and he kind of has this inconsistent technique. So he can get caught kind of just peeking into the backfield, into the quarterback, kind of like just right at their eyes kind of bit when it comes to zone or like off man coverage. And Tad's bit stiff in the back pedal, which ruins some of his fluidity, even though he is a pretty good athlete. So overall, I think this is a developmental nickel corner that they spent a 2021 seventh on. And I don't really mind that because, well, I put him at the nickel not because he's, kind of on the shorter side at 5'10", just because he has that great short area foot quickness, and he's willing to come up and tackle. He has that grit. He's willing to do it. Not all corners are willing to do that. You kind of have to be in the nickel. So I'm thinking he's probably a developmental nickel corner for us. And, like I said before, he has some technique and some fundamental flaws, but he has quite a bit of physical talent to work with. And I do think initially he's just going to come in and compete on special teams, but they were searching for a backup nickel for a little bit. If you recall, like Orlando Scandrick cut again yesterday, but they brought him in, gave a look at him. He would have been a backup veteran nickel to Mackenzie Alexander. And so I guess this kind of makes sense on that front, even though this one is an undrafted rookie. But he is a backup nickel, I think. And they were only looking for that, I think, just because Mike Hughes is still in recovery. So it does make sense on that front. And I just wouldn't expect him to be ready to compete for a starting spot anytime soon. You're probably looking more at probably a 3 or 4 year timeline before he can do that. But hopefully he's just a good special teamer, and that's how he's going to have to make the roster or rosters for the next couple of years. And that's kind of just what he's going to have to bank on, because I think you're kind of looking at year 3 or year 4 that he can actually maybe come in, unless he, grows at a faster rate than some other corners do. But this is basically a trade just so you can call dibs on a player. That's kind of what it is. When you see these trades happen for basically nothing, you'll see like some players get traded around this time for, in this case, it was just a 7. Sometimes it's a conditional 7 or a conditional 6 or a 6, these low round draft picks. And it's pretty much just to call dibs. They don't want to go through the waiver system. They don't think they'll be able to get them down there, but they kind of want the player. So it's like, They call him up and just send it off. I think that's pretty much what this was. I don't think he's necessarily a special player. You're not really going to find many game-changing players at this stage unless you have some of these holdout things like, I guess, Jadeveon Clowney, and now there's Melvin Gordon. Last year we had Khalil Mack in this thing, and now he's in Chicago. Not so great for us that haven't happened, but yeah. Would like to know your comments down below. Until next time, I bid you all adieu.